Okay, so you've made an app that has protons escaping from the nucleus here in the center of our canvas. And when you touch an electron, you're taken to a page that says try again. Well, maybe you want to have a page that says you win or something similar when the user finally gets all of the protons back into the nucleus. So the first step would be to add a screen that's called you win or something similar. And once you create that, you can put whatever kind of celebration message you want. You could have fireworks, you could have any kind of yay, you did it message here. You also will need, I'm just going to put a quick label here that says something like congratulations. But then you're also going to need a button to get you back home. So I will go ahead and drag that over. Keep in mind you could also add things like audio files too. You could play around with this media section and add a sound. So I'm going to drag a button over that says home so that the user can go back to the home screen of the app. And I'm going to code that real quickly to be right here. We're going to get button when button one clicked, open the control, open another screen, and the name of that screen. This time we want it to be screen 1 because they've played the game and they're done, and maybe they want someone else to see the app or something like that. So that should work to have our button go back home. Now I'm going to go to the game screen, and we have to figure out how to get that to work. So on our designer tab here, we want it so that when all of these protons that are moving around are tapped, then open a new screen called You Win. So the way to do that is to assign each of these protons a number, or to call it a variable. So a variable is an element that stands for something, and the element that we need is a score. So basically what we're going to start with is this variable section. We're going to initialize at the very beginning of our app a global variable, and we're going to just call it score. So you can just type over that, just call it score. And we're going to set our value at 0. So if we're starting at 0, each time one of those protons is tapped, we're going to add 1 to the 0. So our score starts off at 0, and I grabbed that from the math section over here, just a plain number block with a 0 in it. Now we want to say when ball 7 is touched, for example, we want to set the global score to whatever it is plus 1. So when ball 7 is touched, we want to set the global score. So we're actually going to drag this plain set block down here and thunk it right underneath there. We're going to set the global score to, and we're going to get a math block here that says when something plus 1. So we're looking for the plus. Okay, and the first part of that is going to be the global score. So we have to get it. Do we have to get the global score? We're going to have the program try to figure out what the score is and then add 1 to that. Okay, so we're in the math section. I'm going to drag this over. So every time one of these balls is touched, it's going to add 1 to our global score. There we go. So it should look just like this. So when ball 7 is touched, we're going to set the global score to be whatever it was before this one was touched plus 1. So if it's the first ball touched, the score would then be 1, because remember we start off at 0. So we want this same set of code underneath all of these. So we're just going to do this 6 times. We're duplicating, and we're putting it underneath all of our protons. So when all of our odd protons are touched, we will have 6. So what do you think should happen once all 6 of them are touched? Well, our global score will equal 6, and then we want the next page to open. So that's the very last part of this that we have to do. We need to make it so that, I have some room here I'll probably use. We're going to include it inside this clock timer because the protons are moving around and it's part of this. So when this clock timer is running, we're going to say in our control section, if the global score equals 6, then open that screen called You Win. So we're going to go back here to the equals block. So if our global score, I'm going to just duplicate this one because it's the same thing that we want. If, and then we're telling our program to get that score, whatever it is, when it equals 6, I'm going to duplicate this math block here and bring it down. So when the score equals 6, then, and you should know this part, open a new screen, open another screen, and this time the screen name is whatever you called your win screen. So it might say You Win, or whatever you called it, You Win. And that should do it. So now you have a score that starts off at the beginning of your game at 0, and every time they tap one of these balls, one of the protons that are on the outside, not only does it go invisible and the one in the center go visible, but now we're also adding 1 to our score. And when our score equals 6, then the You Win page can open. That's it. I do have one more thing to show you if you haven't figured this out yet. If you go back to your main page, so screen 1, and you want to add an icon to your app so that when somebody's using your app or about to open your app, they see that icon image on their tablet. It's on screen 1, and you scroll down on properties to where you see icon, and you can pick either the atom picture or whatever. If you want to upload another photo or image, that's fine too, and click OK. And then you're ready to export your app and save it to your device. And it should be a fun game for people to play and help them review protons, neutrons, and electrons. Great job, guys.